Okay, today is a Thursday, 9:17 a.m., July 22, and the watch list is a little different. I think I had more sleep today, at least it somewhat feels like it. I slept at maybe 12 instead of 2 a.m. Anyway, these are the main stocks. These are new. FERN is like a stock that's been in my old watch list where I just throw in all of the runners that have just fallen off. And this one, if you want to count this level, in theory it's above it at 155 level. The top here is what is that? That's like 175, 176. Anyway, somewhere up in the high 170s. Maybe it can do some kind of a breakout. The volume wasn't looking that bad yesterday. It is starting to catch up, so it's really not too bad. It's just going to be a watch, though. I'm not really just 100% focused at breakouts. HDVY, this is another one. It's uptrending. In theory, this could be a sketchy morning panic bounce play. I just want to see how it trades. I don't want it to be a liquid like Gamer is, GMER. DPLS, again, same thing, spike or panic. LCLP, this one could be either one actually. This thing could do a morning spike or a morning panic. It won't actually matter at all. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not really interested in trading NASDAQ stocks, but if the OTCs dry up or something like that, I will definitely be looking at those at some point. Alright, it is 9:49 a.m. and I don't have any trades. The closest thing to a morning panic bounce play was DPLS here. You can see it dropped from 13 to 12.6, which isn't much range, and it was still green on the day. It could have taken a buy at 265. VWAP was right there at 286. So I guess let's just do it right here. At the size I was considering, 265, that would have been like a 380 position. So if we get the VWAP, right, it's just not much range. It's not much range, at least, especially for the size I was considering. Even though now it's at 13, right? $10. It's just not much range with DPLS. It's been like that. This thing wasn't perfect either. No big volume candles in theory. None of that nice price action. VWAP, again, wasn't that far in terms of percent range, so no trade there. FERN, I did see this drop and bounce. I just, wanted it to be more, a lot bigger. It did bounce back from 16 to 17.6, so that wasn't too bad. HDVY is an uptrend. It had like a dip towards VWAP. It held here. This was pretty nice. I just wasn't there for that one. I forgot why. Maybe the wick just scared me, but excuse me, there wasn't no big clear volume candle either. Okay, this looks nicer with LCLP. I did try one trade, I just didn't get filled. And I understand because sorry about those noises, because ask was not really big enough. I tried a larger size here. This was gonna be a $920 position at 932. Right here at 92, I didn't get executed. It spiked immediately to 96. It got to 98, and then it had this double, not double bottom, but a higher low. I didn't consider it there. It's nice to see that it worked out, but that wasn't what I was really interested in. So I don't have any setups right now, but I'll keep looking. Alright, it is 10:50 a.m. I ended up actually having a trade with FERN, and this was it. So this was like a delayed, well, not even a delayed, this is like a really crappy morning panic bounce play, lower low setup. So if you want to ignore this one right here, let's just say this is a morning panic bounce play. It spikes, gets past VWAP, right? 159, 172, drops, big volume candle. Again, really interested when I see the big volume candle. It downtrends, right? And then, okay, it gets to 15, and the idea is, okay, I can take a buy at 15.2, which is what I did right at 10.46. So that was right here. I can take a buy at 10.52, risk 15. Not really the best setup. Sure, I could have went a lot larger here, but I didn't because you know, it's just not perfect. The volume isn't that clean, so it was like a $300 position, okay? I went ahead and took a buy again at 1046, 15.2. I think I hit the ask. I got executed, and then it started to uptrend, and then it skipped on air. When it kind of skipped on air, this thing doesn't have much volume. I thought, all right, I'll just, yeah, I'll be interested in selling soon because of that. And it did get to 16. I was just like, wow, this thing really just skipped on air. I should probably consider a sell because it might turn around, like it's kind of doing right here. Although now it's just trading with a larger spread, I guess. But I gotta sell. It wasn't exactly 16. It was like 15.9555 or something like that. I got sold at 1050, which was right here, right before it went towards VWAP. It actually did touch VWAP, which is kind of like incredible. And now it's at 15.6, although 16 is at the ask. So again, it is going to be trading with some range here, but that was the idea there. Just not very good volume. I'm surprised I made as much as I did, 16 bucks, but really a 5% gain. Just not a perfect setup, because again, you could say this was the morning panic bounce play and this was a lower low, but this one was a bigger drop. Again, what I see, at least in theory, from a lot of these that do and don't work, is that the ones that work have a big volume candle. This one isn't perfect because the big volume candle was right here, and it still had more room to drop, but the volume was fading. Right at a very solid number, I would have cut if 15 broke, and I could have considered a larger size, but at one point 15 wasn't even at the bid. It was like 14.9, and that would just trigger a potential avalanche, so I didn't want to be a part of that. 16.4, yeah, it's trading with a much larger spread now, but that was the idea there. And at 16, 15.2, I mean, right? Yeah, and so that's all I got for right now. I'll make an update later. Okay, it is 2:17 p.m. I just want to make an update. I haven't really been looking at the markets too much. I actually took a nap, so I don't know. Like, I guess I didn't sleep well or something. But anyway, yeah, this was a trade at 1046. Looking now, it is at this is kind of like, this is impressive. I mean, it broke the day high, right? So it's continuing to run up. I did consider the setup because this thing looks very wicky. So, you know, it gets all wicky, comes back next day, continues up, and that's exactly the case here. Now it's at 191, which is, that's a lot of range, I think. Yeah, 15 to 19. I don't know. I could like, I'm starting to watch trading tickers too. I haven't gotten into the actual live trades yet, but you know, someone like Tim Bertani just buys a setup and then he just holds on to it, and then he risks off some level, holds on, and then once it does something like this where it has an uptrend and a downtrend, right, then he kind of moves his average up, and then he adds, you know, and then it keeps going. I don't know. I think, yeah, I have a lot of room for improvement. That's all I can say. I can get better, definitely. But I'm glad I had that trade there. I wasn't expecting much of a trade. This was a nice, you know, percent wise, a lot larger than what I thought it would be. DPLS isn't really doing that much. It did do that thing, but again, it did not have the best range. You know, I mean, it did get to 13, right? But in theory, VWAP was right there at 286. And then I could have taken a buy at 265. That's really not good range. HDVY, I don't know if I was there for that or not, but it had a dip here, but that would have been kind of random and hard. I don't know. There was kind of like a volume candle here. Nothing too exact. LCLP is downtrending. Unfortunately, no clean setups to really take. HALB, sketchy inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. Midday, low volume, not too ideal, but it did go from 25 to 31. Wow, that's a lot of range. So that's all I got for right now. 220, I'll be looking maybe Some of these can make like a nice move like FERN, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'll take a look. Perhaps there's a first day Green Day stock, and I'll be watching that if maybe it can do a nice run towards the end of the day, or maybe something like DPLS that has just that random big V type panic. But yeah, that's all I have for right now. Alright, it is 4:49 p.m. and I'm gonna call it off. I had one trade with FERN, and I'll go over my attempted entries too. The trade was right here. I had a good entry at 152. It was kind of like a sketchy morning panic bounce play, if you call this the morning panic bounce play, not this. And it's the lower low. It did work out. It got to 16.4. It traded under VWAP. It broke past it. I've seen this again and again, but this one was a little different because it was a low volume stock, and again, what helped was that this thing is so wicky that it probably does this a lot of times. If I would look back, it seems like it's something that it consistently does. I don't know when, but in this case it was near the morning. I feel like I could have done much better. I could have probably have tried holding better. This is one where I could have tried holding better, although I can't beat myself up too much because it did literally just skip on air, and that just seems a little too much. So I wasn't trying to be too crazy about it, and it's really nice that it uptrended later in the day. This could be the kind of setup where I can try holding for longer. Not the initial morning panic, because a lot of times it makes a higher low, lower low, so it drops from its highs. I need to get better at this. I probably could have went larger. It's scary, but I could have went a lot larger just because I was risking 15 cents, which was right there. Another setup I had here where the thing was just right there. Anyway, my sell wasn't at 16. It was like let me see if I can get the exact thing. It looks like my sell was at 319.10, right? So divided by 20,000 shares. Yeah, that was it. That wasn't 16, but it was, I guess it rounds up to 16. 5% gain. At least the gain wasn't that bad. I did at least try to sell near the top of the range, and 16 could have been a level of resistance, but it wasn't. Again, I was just scared because it did skip on air. I need to try doing that thing where I sell half at the top of the range, which in this theory it never really got to the top of the range when I sold. It was still uptrending, but the top of the range was at VWAP, give or take 164. It downtrended and then it came back stronger, and that's a great way to sell into the stock. I want to be able to level up and get that far, and I just have to stop being scared and really just push myself to do something like that. I feel like after this trade I wasn't really committed to the markets, which isn't good either. I should have been probably more serious. DPLS is nothing I would have traded here. I mean, I could have went for a buy here, but I don't like the way the candles are looking. It could have turned around. I don't regret this one. Actually, VY, had I have been there, had I have been more focused, maybe I would have seen this and considered it. It does look a bit choppy, so it might have been scary, but there was not a big volume candle, but a big group of volume candles, which helped. I could have considered, or at least tried again in something like this, especially because this thing trades with a ridiculous amount of range. I mean, you see this drop, right? It looks, it looks fine, but then you look at the numbers, 25 to 34 cents. That's some pretty good range. When you compare DPLS, this thing looks more massive, but it's 12.6 to 13.7. Maybe by chance my math is just horrible and it's the same amount, because 12 to 13 might be bigger than 26 to 33, but I doubt it. This thing I'm pretty sure has a lot more range. LCLP didn't do much. I wouldn't have traded this. HALB, it continued to hold itself. Maybe if I was extra try hard, I would have considered a dip buy, seeing the potential kind of higher low type of situation, but probably not, because this thing had way too little volume and it was a lower high here, so I don't regret missing this one at all. But HDVY, I would have liked to have been a part of that. FERN, I can try selling better. I really can try selling better, because when I sold, it was still uptrending It didn't reach the top yet. It's okay again because I had some fear. It was right here. I had some fear because it did skip on air there, but yeah, I just have to get a little better. I'm gonna be studying today. I'm gonna try to put in more effort. I don't want to go overkill and just break a natural limit and go crazy. But I'm gonna try to put in more efforts. I'm gonna try to work harder. At least I did get a trade here. There were no morning panic bounce plays. At least that were clean. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm happy to have these stocks that are uptrending. Hopefully they can be morning panic bounce plays in the future, and that's all I have for now. Okay, I'm back. I was able to remember just in time. I want to go over the 2 attempted buys that I had just one more time, and that was PHIL 932, which was a morning panic bounce play. I just didn't get executed. Maybe I hesitated to because of the fact that it was only down for 2 minutes. It was down 3 minutes technically. 930, 931, and then 932 was with the attempted entry. So it wasn't really something that was that clean because it only had a few red candles, but it was a big volume candle in that sense. But again, it wasn't perfect. Look at where it is on the daily chart. I took an attempted buy at 92. I didn't get filled, and then it had this. I hate it, it just immediately does a big spike the next minutes, or in this case the same minutes. It just does that immediate spike of the entire move past VWAP, and it got as high as 98. So that would have been very profitable, and I was trying to do a $920 position, which is a lot larger than I have been doing recently. Just trying to push myself to do a larger size. And then I did try to trade HALB. This one I don't remember too much, but that was at 1031. I think it was like a dip towards VWAP. Yeah, it was a dip towards dip under VWAP. And my attempted entry was at 272. I'm not sure if I just missed it because I hesitated too much. Maybe I'll go back and I'll explain it more. But yeah, this one worked. It went from that 272 level to 34. Geez, I really want to see what I did wrong there, but maybe I was just being too picky with my entry. I'm not extremely sure, but yeah, that's all I got. I did at least try today a larger size, and just I didn't get executed. But definitely I need to keep working towards pushing myself a healthy amount, not a crazy amount, just a healthy amount to try to do my best here.